Greetings, I'm Barrett, and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're continuing our playthrough of Kingdom Death Monster. We're entering our settlement phase, and this is going to be a monster of a settlement phase. We have many different things that are about to happen to us in the settlement phase that we're going to have to take care of. Not to mention we brought back some fun resources, so let's see what we can do. We were able to take down that level 1 antelope in our last showdown, but I think that might be the last time we see him. I think we'll be moving on to some more powerful monsters so we can get some more resources, because the more powerful the monster is, the more resources we're going to be able to gain and bring back and be able to create awesome things for our settlement. So if you're excited to see what happens to our brave survivors, then I need you to meet me at the table. So let's go ahead and start our settlement phase. We're going to go ahead and set it up. I've already done that. The survivors do return and we gain endeavors. Now we had 4 survivors go out and we had 4 survivors come back. So we're going to gain 4 endeavors. We're going to put them out right here. Now the next thing we have to do is we have to update our timeline. So we're going to draw a settlement event card and resolve it. Trigger story events and settlement events on the timeline this year, and there are a lot of them. So first, let's go ahead and take our settlement thing down. We're going to go ahead and cut it a couple times here and there, and we're going to go ahead and see what settlement event we have. We have Elder Council. The elders of the settlement gather to reminisce over their hard-won scars. Count the total number of hunt XP among all survivors. Add the bonuses and consult the table. All right, let's go ahead. We also have Sage, Sacrification, and Records. We do not have any of those. So we're going to go ahead and look at our hunt XP. So here are all our survivors. Get your pen and pencil out. See if my math is right. We've got what down here? 6, 2, 3, 5, 4, and 5. And if I add all these up, I believe it comes to 25. So let's go ahead and consult our table below. 0 to 6, we have more than that. 7 to 20, we have more than that. 21 to 50, we have to lose 1 endeavor. One of the elders recalls a story about a bizarre lion it met on a dangerous hunt. The monster was mourning, and its paw held a tattooed human hand. And the beast of sorrow. To your quarry list. Oh, what is this? You will find its rules on the legendary monster story event page. You may now hunt this monster. I don't think we're going to be hunting any legendary monsters, but I am going to add the beast of sorrow to our quarry list. And we also have to lose 1 endeavor to do that. So that was our settlement events. We're going to go ahead and put those back up here, and we're going to add that to our quarry list. So right here, we've added Beast of Sorrow. So that is an option. So we're going to look into that before we actually go into our hunt. Now with that out of the way, I am going to go ahead and mark our settlement thing. We're on Lantern here, 8 here. We did our settlement event, but look at all these Hooded Knight, Bone Witch, and Light on Horizon. So we have to take care of all of these. I think we're going to start with the Hooded Knight. So we've dealt with this Hooded Knight before, and it did not go well. It says, if any survivor has the Twilight Sword, they duel the Knight. Well, we do not have that. Otherwise, his motives are inscrutable. Roll below on Mysterious Agenda. So we're going to go ahead, take our die, and roll on the Mysterious Agenda. We got a 5, so let's see what that says. And number 5 right here says the Hooded Knight insists on training the uncaught survivors in martial combat. Up to 2 survivors may spend 3 resources each to learn the Mighty Strikes fighting art. The Hooded Knight leaves with unfinished business and will return later. I don't think we're going to actually give up any of our resources for Mighty Strikes. We already have a guy with Mighty Strikes, and it's not the greatest thing. I think our resources are more important than that fighting art. And unfinished business says add Hooded Knight to the timeline 4 years from now. Oh, we're going to see this person again. So our Hooded Knight will be coming back 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here, Hooded Knight again. Wow, this person can't get enough of us, I tell you. So we're going to have to deal with that event again in Lantern Year 12. Now we're going to go on to the Bone Witch. Actually, I might do the light on the horizon. No, we're going to do Bone Witch next. Just do them right in order here. So let's go take on the Bone Witch event. And there's our Bone Witch art. It looks pretty cool. She's got bones, of course, hanging off of her, and she looks tattooed all over the place. And here's our story event for the Bone Witch. It says, one day the exile emerged from the darkness. The settlement worried at the sound of her wailing chants. Everyone feared what mystery kept her alive in the darkness all these years. Some could not resist asking. Then it says, all non-deaf returning survivors gain +3 insanity. All right, we'll have to take care of that. Then it says, the most insane returning survivor, or survivors in case of a tie, is inexorably drawn to the Bone Witch and must endeavor at the witch camp. Otherwise, during the settlement phase, any survivor may endeavor at the witch camp if they choose. So here's our 4 returning survivors, and we got to give them all 3 insanity here, which is going to bring Gold Moon to 4, Kitty Yara to 6, Caramon's going to go to 8. I have a feeling Caramon's about to meet the Bone Witch, and then Everman is going to be getting up to 5. Oh, wow. Okay, so we got a lot of insanity. That was pretty insane. All right, so Caramon is going to probably have to meet this Bone Witch because he's got the most insanity. So our witch camp here says we have to roll a d10. So let's go ahead and see what happens to Caramon. He got a 7. Let's go ahead and read that. So it says here, the Bone Witch mutters of the alluring embrace of the awaiting darkness. Her stories stir strange yearnings in your bones. For being a patient listener, she offers to teach you something for the cost of 1 bone resource. If you spend the resource, gain extra sense fighting art and +3 survival. So our extra sense fighting art is right here. And look, it's even got the picture of the Bone Witch. Wow. It says you may dodge 1 additional time per round. Then we record this and archive it. I believe one of our characters has this right now. Yes, it's Kitty Yara. She has this. So maybe we will give up our bone resource to do this, because actually that's a really good one, especially for Caramon. If he's going to be standing in front taking some hits, being able to dodge twice is probably going to be pretty good. So I've gone ahead and write down our extra sense and put down that it gives us an extra dodge per round so I can remember. And I'm going to go ahead and discard this shank bone. We got 2 of them in our last fight, so we're going to get rid of 1. Now the last thing we have to do is we have to do Lights on the Horizon. Well, Lights on the Horizon wasn't actually a settlement event, it was a hunt event. The actual settlement event we're supposed to do is Lights in the Sky. So it's right here. Lights in the Sky says a spectacular light show erupts against the limitless darkness above. Swirling vivid trails streak overhead. They lift everyone's spirit. And there's going to be a lingering effect, which means we can take care of these anytime during our settlement phase. It says the settlement collective imagination is set aflame. After rolling for an endeavor, you may add +1 or +2 to the result. I think I forgot to do that the last time I may have had this settlement event. Now let's see, I do have graves, so once per settlement phase, I can do this. And it says the settlement celebrates the lights of the departed as they streak past. Gain +2 survival. Now if you get a 6+, a column of light strikes you. You are filled with the memory of the dead. If insane, add +3 defense to every location when you depart this lantern year. Wow, that's going to be awesome. That'd be very, very good when you try to go on against a harder monster. Now, I don't have face painting, so none of these can take place. But I do have Inner Lantern. It says once per settlement phase, Silent Reflection. Gain a fighting art of your choice. I don't think we're going to do that. And also add Skull Eater settlement event to the timeline next year and gain +1 understanding. Again, not sure we're going to be doing any of that. But if we want to, they are available. So I'm going to put them right up there. With our timeline updated, we're going to go ahead and update our death count. We don't have any. Check milestones, nothing. So we're going to develop. So I'm going to grab all our endeavors here and move them over to where we develop. Now, I have to spend 1 of these when we did our Elder Council. So we're down to 3. We only have 3 left. So let's go ahead and check out what resources we have and see what we're thinking about doing this turn. The first thing is I have a shank bone, a monster organ, and a monster hide. I think we're going to discard those 3 and 1 of our endeavors so that we can innovate, because innovating is always really good. So I'm going to go ahead and mix these up a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and see what we're able to take this time in our innovation. We get 4. I'm going to grab that one, and this one, and we'll also grab that one. So we've got 4 that we can choose from thanks to our other innovation that we have. So let's see what we find. We found drums, music, language, consequence. So we can use this once per set. We can use this and whenever we want. We have use an endeavor here. And what do they say? Drum alone, you gain +2 sanity. Rhythmic trance, +2 survival. Or I can grab the rhythm chaser fighting art. All right, those are our options. Our next one is scrap melting. It says here that we can use purification. 1 to 2, nothing happens. We can spend 3 scrap to gain an iron. We can also spend 3 scrap to add 1 iron to the storage, and I can repeat this any number of times. Also, I can create a blacksmith with a lot of bones and some scrap. All right, our next one, a shrine. We've seen this before. Limit once per settlement use. It says departing survivors gain +1 insanity. The final adjustments. Departing survivors add +1 to all hit locations. That's pretty good. And the last one is cooking. Science oven. +1 endeavors. At the start of the settlement phase, gain +1 endeavors. That's really good. And a survival limit. That's awesome. I can also do the event cooking. Spend an organ and a bone to cook stone nose gruel. During the next hunt phase, ignore starvation. All right, well, that's not too bad. We'll have to go ahead and figure out what would be the best one that we can use right now. So of these 4 events, I'm not going to be doing this scrap smelting. I hope we get this again sometime, but I don't have any of these resources to do this, and I don't need iron right now. So we're not going to take that one. The shrine I always think is a really good one, but we might actually use that light in the sky one. So having this final adjustment might not be something we're going to need right now. So I'm going to get rid of that one. Now I have to choose between cooking and drums. Now drums give us a synchronized fighting art, some survival and insanity. We have a lot of insanity, we have a lot of survival. We're able to gain a lot as we leave with a lot of our innovations already. So that brings us to cooking. And I think we're going to take cooking. This +1 endeavor, I think is going to be very good. Not to mention, I'm interested to see what cooking actually does, the story event. That'll be pretty cool. Not to mention a survival limit. So we are going to take cooking. Was that the right choice? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Is cooking what we need, or should I have taken one of our other innovations? We're going to put them back in our deck, and we're going to add cooking to the rest of our innovations that are right here. We've got bed, language, lantern oven, ammonia, hovel, inner lantern, symposium, and cooking. I'm going to go through these real quick to make sure I'm not supposed to get any other bonuses during our settlement phase. No, there is nothing I should be doing during the settlement phase based on those. I do get to add an extra survival limit because of our cooking innovation. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go through here and find our stone circle. And I am going to make this screaming skirt for 1 pelt. Why not? I've got a pelt. So I'm going to discard our pelt over here, and we're going to gain a screaming skirt. Now all this thing does is it's a thick protective fur that protects your parts. Add +1 to severe waste injury result rolls. And this is going to be pretty good. I get 3 to my belt. That'll be awesome. Now with our remaining resources, we have 2 hides, we have an organ, a bone, and an iron. Now this iron I'm probably going to archive, and we actually have some leftover stuff that we have from our previous fights. We have a great cat bone, some ants, the bladder, a tail feather, and a large flat tooth. So we can use these as well. Now I don't think any of these are things we're going to be using at all when it comes to creating more gear, but maybe a weapon or something. Let's take a look at what we can get. I think one thing I'm thinking about is making a new settlement place. If I look here at the skinnery, I can create a leather worker for 3 hide and 1 organ. Now I have an organ right here. I've got 1, 2 hides, and then this tail feather I have right here, that's also a hide resource. So I can go ahead and use the tail feather, these 2 hides, and this organ to create the leather worker. And here's our leather worker right here. One of the things I'm interested about this leather worker is maybe I can make some of those pickaxes and make mine and some scythes and maybe get some more resources through those as we go through our hunt event. Right down here, it says we can create a bone pick or a bone sickle. Now I need ammonia and I need leather. And this is how I'm able to create leather. I have ammonia and it says spend any number of hide to add any equal number of leather strange resources to the settlement storage. Also, I can make a whole nother set of gear that involves leather. So that's gonna be awesome. And then of course the round shield, the hunter's whip. So I think we're gonna add that. Now of course that's also gonna cost me an endeavor to do this. So it's gonna cost me 1 endeavor to create that leather worker. And we're gonna go ahead and clean all this up a little bit. And I'm also gonna discard these 3 into our things. We're gonna save ourselves a spiral horn and we're gonna save ourselves some iron. I believe that's what we're going to create this turn. Now I have 1 endeavor left. I can either augury, but I think what I want to do is I want to do that lights in the sky. And if I can get a 6+, I'm going to get +3 to all my locations, and that's going to be awesome. So we're going to go ahead and roll our die. Come on, I need a 6 or better. Oh, I got a 7. Yes, all right. That's exactly what I want. Okay, look at this. Oh, I know I've read it 3 times, but I'm already excited again. The column of light strikes you, and you are filled with the memory of the dead. If insane, add +3 to every location when you depart this lantern year. Now, my only question is that all my survivors that are insane, or is it just one of them? You are filled with the memory of the dead. If insane, add 3 to locations when you depart this lantern year. I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to let you tell me what I'm supposed to do here. Am I supposed to gain the +3 for all my departing survivors, or is it just for one of them? Of course, they all have to be insane. I understand that. Well, we're done with our, development stage. So we're going to go ahead and prepare our departing survivors. Now, we don't have any special showdowns. I'm going to archive our spiral horn and our iron, and we're going to end the settlement phase. So at this point, I also have to decide what I'm going to hunt as well. So let's go figure that out. So Gold Moon is going to be our first departing survivor. She has a ton of stuff. Nothing's really changed from what she had last time. She still has that monster tooth necklace, the sword, and the bone dagger. And of course, this sword, she gets your courage is added to your weapon strength. So that's just ridiculous. Now, we gain a lot of extra survival because of our innovations we have when we depart. I think we get +4. And then we have a max survival now of 7. So I'm going to go ahead and change our 5 up here to a 7. She's got tons of survival. That's awesome. Now, I haven't wrote in any of the stuff over here. Actually, I'm even going to erase the head here of 2, just because I'm not exactly sure about that event from the lights in the sky. If I'm supposed to add 3 to all of these people that are insane. And she, of course, is insane. So she'd be adding 3 to all these different body parts. Or if it's just one person, I'm not going to make it be her. Please let me know in the comments below how that all works. Kitty Yarrigan is going to join us on our hunt. She's going to be kind of our utility player yet again. She has her whisker harp, and this is going to be really good. If I think we're hunting a white lion, this thing is able to add, +1 survival on arrival, but that's not really what I'm worried about. I like this. Sturm. Roll a d10, a result of 6+, discard 1 mood card currently in play. That's going to be awesome, because some of the more advanced monsters might gain moods that are really devastating to what we do. Now, she, again, nothing's really changed with her. She's still got that cat eye circlet, which is absolutely amazing. And she, again, is going to gain enough survival to bring her back to her max, which is going to be 7. So she also has 7 max survival. And she's got that same extra sense that Caramon now does, meaning she can dodge twice each round. So our next person is going to be Sturm. We're going to bring him along, not Burm Everman. WT 2014 made a really good point. He says that he made a note that the actual way that super survivor is able to advance so fast, we might lose him really quick. So if we save him for some of the more powerful monsters, I think that'd be a better plan. Now, I know we're going to probably be fighting a level 2, but with that extra event, giving somebody +3 to all defense places, unless, of course, it's to everybody that's insane, which is absolutely amazing, then I don't think I'm going to have to worry about this hunt being too bad. Of course, that could be totally wrong. But I'm going to go ahead and bring Sturm along. Now, I've changed his weapon proficiency to Qatar, because he's going to be using those 2 Qatars that Everman was before. Now, he hasn't changed much. I did give him that Screaming Skirt, which is going to be kind of a little upgrade to him, but no, he's not going to gain those bonuses from that event if it actually applies to everybody, because he's not insane. I'm also bringing him because all the other 4, they are insane, and that could be really bad. We've seen at least one hunt event that actually causes a lot of bad things to happen to us if every single person is insane. So that's Sturm. He's going to be coming along for this fight. So our last person we're bringing, of course, is Caramon. He's gone to his max survival, and he's kind of our rock of our foundation. He's got his entire rawhide gear set, so we're going to give him that card. And he also is still using that Butcher Cleaver because, well, he's quite insane. Now, he also has the axe proficiency as well, where when attacking with an axe, if your wound attempt fails, you may ignore it and attempt to wound the selected hit location again. So he has that as well. I forgot to mention, of course, that the other person that has a specialization is Gold Moon. She, of course, gets her dagger specialization. When attacking with a dagger, if a wound attempt fails, after performing any reactions, you may discard another drawn hit location card to attempt to wound that hit location again. So she has that. I forgot to mention that when I was talking about her. Now, of course, Caramon, nothing's really changed with him. I have stopped giving our characters these stone noses. That just because, well, I don't really need them on arrival. I have enough survival and insanity as it is. So here's our Beast of Sorrow that we could take advantage of. He's got 10 basic, 5 advanced, and a legendary. He has 7 movement, 13 toughness, and he gains a +1 speed and damage token. He's a white lion, and he uses a level 3 white lion setup. He also uses the same white lion setup as you would for the train. The victory, I use a level 3 white lion victory plus a strange iron resource. And I can nominate a survivor that dealt the killing blow to gain a random fighting art. Now, of course, if we lose to this thing, the settlement's paralyzed by grief and no endeavors may be spent on the next settlement phase. Now, the interesting thing is it starts with these different traits up here that some of them we haven't seen before. Now, one of them, of course, is that cunning one. We've seen this one. It's at the end of the monster's turn, the monster extends its claw. If there's any adjacent survivors, target one at random and full move the white lion directly away from all the threats. The target suffers grab. He has that one. Now, the interesting thing is he also has this indomitable trait. Look at that. Wow. It says whenever the monster attacks or is attacked, it stands at the end of the attack. So it's not going to stay down as for all the attacks we can do to it. Now, we've seen trample, which is interestingly coming from the, the antelope deck. So we've seen this one before. When the monster collides, the survivor suffers damage equal to monster level to a random hit location. Now remember, he's a level 4. So we'd be taking 4 damage every time this thing hits me. Now the interesting thing, it also has weak spot, which actually comes from a deck I haven't seen before. And it says the monster has -4 toughness when you attack the monster from the blind spot. So meaning its toughness would only be a 9. So he actually comes with traits that come from all over the place, which is really interesting. So we have an option of going after the Beast of Sorrow or a level 2 white lion. I think we're going to do the level 2 white lion, but just know we might take this guy on at some point in the future. Because if we look at our white lion card here, our level 2 only is going to have 15 health. Now this guy is 16, so it's very similar. But he only has 7 movement, 10 toughness, again 7, 13, and he gains a speed and damage token as well, but only has cunning. I'm kind of worried about this trample concept. If he goes running through people for 4 damage, that's pretty insane. But interestingly enough, the amount of life he has isn't too much more than a level 2 white lion, so it's something to think about in the future. Another thing to keep in mind, of course, is that a lion would start back here, all the way near the end of the hunt event, where this one's going to start right here that we're going to fight now. He's already quite a bit of ways, and those hunt events can be pretty brutal sometimes. So having to go through all these hunt events to get to him could be something I'm not really sure we could take on. You know me, I'm always trying to play it a little safer than I probably should. So I've got our hunt board all set up. Now we just have to populate it. And according to our thing, we're going to take our hunt events specific for our white lion and place them down on all the squares that were E's. So there's going to be one here, one here. I'm going to be putting one here. Now this is where our level 2 white lion is going to go. There's also going to be a couple behind him. I'm going to put them there. Hopefully we don't actually have to go back there because that's going to mean this hunt is going on for too long. Now we're going to take our basic hunt events. I don't really even need to shuffle these because they're all the same. We're going to put those out there and even put one underneath the white lion. Now hopefully our goal is to get him to walk past this because I don't even know what that is, but it doesn't look very good. There's a lot of creepy things going on. And now with that taken care of, we're going to go ahead and discover what is in front of our survivors. Now again, this is now going to be Sturm. He's going to be that character. This is still Caramon. That is Gold Moon, and this is Kittyara. I think we're going to have Kittyara go first. She's going to go ahead and take this hunt event, and let's see what we have found. We have found Lion in Heat. The darkness is filled with an unearthly screeching and yowling. Huddled together, the survivors close their eyes but cannot sleep. All survivors suffer 1 brain damage event. Oh no, event brain damage. Okay, so we're going to have to give everybody 1 damage. So I've gone ahead and taken their brain damage down a little bit. We're at 3 with Gold Moon, 5 with Kittyara. Caramon's got 7. Now, of course, I had to check this box with Sturm because he doesn't have any insanity at all to help him. So that's our first event. We're going to go ahead and move our characters up and decide who is going to be next. Caramon is going to go next. He's going to grab this card, and let's see what happens. It says, Marked Territory. The white lion has marked this area. If any survivor has 3+ understanding, they realize the area is covered in ammonia. If they haven't not already innovated it yet, the survivor settlement gains the ammonia innovation. All right, well, I think already have the ammonia innovation, so there's no need for this. But then down here it does say roll random hunt event. Oh, I don't really want to do that. So we're going to go ahead and roll our dice. Of course, this is our 10s die, our white one. And we got 93. So let's go to the book and see what we find. And number 93 here says lost survivor. In a hollow between two identical rocks, you find a corpse with fabulous hair clutching a book to its chest. If the settlement has pictographs, the event revealer may read from the book and roll a d10. Otherwise, the survivors move on, deeply confused. The book tells the tragic tale of two survivors who have found a love they could never have. Well, sadly, we don't have pictographs, so we're just going to go ahead and move forward. Nothing happened to us. Now we're going to go on to our next one. I'm going to have Gold Moon go ahead and reveal her, the random event. So we're going to roll our dice again and see what we get. We got a 64 here. Let's see what that says. And 64 is Stone Fountain. It says 2 cupped stone hands rise out of the ground. The hands hold clear, cold water that trickles through the stone fingers in a seemingly endless supply. Any survivor may consume from the fountain. If they do, gain 1 courage and roll a d10. If no one consumes, roll again on the hunt event table before moving on the hunt board. Well, I do like courage, but I'm not really sure what's going to happen to our survivors. I think we're going to go ahead and have everybody do this. I would love to gain +1 courage for everyone. So we're going to go ahead and write that down for everybody. But first, let's roll on the table. So if all of our survivors are going to do it, I've got 4 different dice. This one is going to be for Gold Moon. She got a 9. Caramon is going to be the black die. He got a 4. Kitty Yar is going to also take this red die, this clear one. She's got a 5. And then we're going to also roll for Sturm. Sturm got a 4. Now let's go see what happens to everyone. So the 2 guys, Caramon and Sturm, got a 4. It says, the water is clear until it enters your lips, where it suddenly turns to blood. You spit out the foul liquid and suffer monster-level brain event damage. If you have the hemophobia disorder, you also suffer monster-level event damage to the body as you vomit violently in disgust. All right, we don't have this for any of our characters. We are going to have to take 1 monster or brain event damage for those 2. Now, Kitty Yar rolled a 5. The water is refreshing, and that's it. And last but not least, we have Gold Moon. She got a 9, plus the water is clean and pure, like none the survivor has ever tasted. Gain +1 survival. Well, that's not going to help us because we already have max survival. So Caramon and Sturm are both going to take brain event damage. Caramon's going down to a 6. Now, Sturm has already checked this box, and from what I understand, unless it actually specifically says, you're not going to be rolling on any of the really bad tables during the hunts unless it specifically tells you to. So since he's already checked this box, he's actually not going to take any event damage. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments below, but I believe that's how it works. So now we've taken our damage by drinking the water that turned to blood. We're going to go ahead and give everybody a courage for actually doing it. So nobody's actually going to reach any milestones yet, so we're not going to have to read anything there, but people do get courage, and that's fantastic. And now we continue on our hunt for the white lion. The only person that hasn't gone yet is, I believe, it's Sturm. Sturm is going to go ahead and grab this card and see what happens. It's a random event. What do you know? Surprise, surprise. So we're going to roll our 2 dice and see what we get. We got a 24. So 24 is food from the mouths of others. The survivors pass a stone face that appears to be holding something in its mouth. The event revealer investigates. Gain +1 courage and roll a d10. So the event revealer is Sturm. He's going to go ahead and see what he finds. He found a 5. Let's see what happens. There is nothing. It was just a trick of the lantern light. All right, that's the end of this one, but he does gain 1 courage. So Sturm is up to 2 courage so far. Wow, he's doing pretty good. So everybody has taken their turn at least once. Now we have to see who wants to test their luck again. I think I'm going to have Sturm go ahead. He's been gaining a lot of courage. He's pretty courageous. He's going to go ahead and see what this one is. It says, Sea of Golden Grass. Fields of golden grass lay ahead. The event revealer may choose to avoid the plains and roll twice on the hunt event table before moving on the hunt board. Otherwise, each survivor gains 1 courage and the event revealer rolls on the table. I believe we're going to do the rolling on the table. That is going to be the plan. Let's see what could happen, though. Probably a lot of real bad things. All right, we're going to go ahead, put it down. We're going to roll on the table, and everybody's going to gain a courage. All right, Sturm, let's see what happens to you. He got a 2. Let's see what that says. Number 2 says, the quarry was stalking in the grass. Begin the showdown immediately, and the monster ambushes the survivors. Oh no, that's probably gonna be really bad. Oh, that's too bad at all. Oh no. Okay, well, I don't have to worry about this, I guess. That's half the battle. I guess we'll see that some other time. But that is the end of our hunt phase. Our lion has ambushed us. Oh, and he's right there eating Sturm. Hopefully that doesn't happen in real life. Now, the only good thing, of course, is everybody does gain a courage. So each character, again, is going to gain more courage. Wow, we've probably got the most courageous group on the planet. Probably more courageous than the actual controller of the people. All right, we do have one person, Sturm, who has reached a milestone in courage, so he's going to take care of his bold event. So we've seen this bold event many different times, so I'm just going to read the one for the hunt phase. It says, expect the unexpected. You are prepared to face any mind-bending trials at a moment's notice. Where others may falter, you forge ahead, meeting the journey head on. Gain the following ability and roll on the table below. So we're going to gain the prepared ability. When rolling to determine a straggler, add your hunt experience to your roll result. Oh, that'll be really good. We've had a lot of those straggler events. Now, of course, I do have to roll a d10 and see what we get for Sturm here. He got a lantern 10. Oh, that's awesome. So he's going to gain +1 permanent movement. Oh, that's probably going to help a ton while trying to take down these level 2 monsters. So his movement is going to become 6. Wow, he's going to be able to move pretty quick. That's pretty awesome. He and Goldmoon, I think, both have a 6 speed thanks to her items and because of his upgrade. And that's the end of our settlement and hunt video. We have gotten to the White Lion, or should I say he's gotten to us. Take a look at Sturm. He's going down. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. We're going to continue on into the actual showdown phase. If you did enjoy this, please give it a like, hit the subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell symbol so you know when that showdown phase comes. And please leave anything in the comments below. I would love to hear from everyone. Do you think all the things I did in the settlement video were right? Did you like the fact I took cooking? I'd like to hear what you have to say. And if you're excited to see what happens to our brave survivors when we actually take on a level 2 White Lion, then I need you to meet me at the table.